trustees, by the way, you have a wonderful board of trustees in this church. I hope you know that. They're just super people and they care about this church so much. And we hadn't had a board retreat in quite a while, so we went out to Sean's place. He calls it the Dragonfly Landing. How many of you have been out there? If you do, it's a beautiful spot and he has a great facility for any event. And so, excuse me, I have a frog this morning. And so it was a perfect place for us to go. And what we did was we envisioned the future for this church. We went ahead, what's going to be here a year from now? What are we going to be doing 5 years from now? 10 years from now? What's the old saying? If you don't know where you're going, you're going to end up somewhere else. And we didn't want that to happen. So we really put a vision out there. And we could see the joy and the prosperity and the people coming here and the activities. It was a wonderful thing to do. And then we revisited our mission, vision statements. Those who came before us had a beautiful mission statement, and we honor it. They achieved it, and it has worked well to hold this congregation together during the good times and the challenges. Proverbs tells us where there is no vision, people perish. Wow, that's quite a statement, isn't it? Or something even worse than perishing, where there is no vision, you call into a default life. I'll take whatever comes along. How many here want a life of whatever comes along? No, we want to have that, what we envision to happen. And the power of that intention is one of the great universal principles. It's like imagination that I talked about a few weeks ago. It lays the track for the reality train to follow. What we envision, what we imagine. And then when you have two or more gathering, and every week we review that and say that statement again, that the power is increased for that to happen. And I love the expression that the universe conspires to support you in your vision. The universe conspires, and the synchronicity of the universe comes together to support that. Now, the one thing we did have to clarify is there's two different ones. Some people call it a mission statement, some people a vision statement. And they're really two different things, and I always get them confused in my own mind. A mission statement is usually a real short, catchy phrase that you can remember and come up with just like that. An example, years ago, I heard of Unity of Detroit's, their mission statement, and it was so powerful I had never forgotten it. I can bring it up just like that. And I don't know if they still have that mission statement because most churches review their statements every few years. But it was called the Church of Tomorrow Today. The Church of Tomorrow Today. And that was so short it was easy to remember and so catchy that every time I thought of it, it was right there. And they became that for many years, still are. Now the vision statement then is, okay, how do I become that mission statement? How do I achieve that? And again, they're usually short, clear statements that everybody can remember. So it was a group project. No one person came up with it. We passed around a pad of stick-up notes, those post-it notes for everyone. And everyone, when we asked, what words do you think of when you think of this church? Everybody wrote down 3 or 4 words. And then we put the stick-ups up on the board, and everybody went up and checked 3 that they felt were the most important. And then we took those words and created a mission statement out of that. And then we took some more and did the vision statement from that. And they were almost right, but we thought they needed a little tweaking. We couldn't quite figure out what it needed. So we called in the caterer, Jada. What's Jada's last name?
Jada Savage.
Oh, she is a wonderful caterer. Yum, yum. If you want a good food, just call Jada. She came over and right away she said, I don't like this much. And we tweaked it and it was perfect. So Brandon, I'd like you to come up. Let's give Brandon a hand. He's our fourth person. I'd like Brandon to introduce what we came up with.
Awesome. So this is our new mission statement that I think is the core of everything that we are. Go ahead, Shamara. Celebrating our oneness.
Yeah.
Can we say that together? Celebrating our oneness. And I it? Do you claim it? Yes. You want me to do the vision?
Absolutely.
Awesome. So this is the new vision statement. Joyful acceptance and loving service, embracing all. Can we say that together? Joyful acceptance and loving service, embracing all. Can I get a, I claim that one too? Awesome, awesome, awesome.
So now when people ask you what the vision statement is, or the mission, I get them always mixed up. What's the mission? See if we can remember them right now. The first one, celebrating our oneness. And what's the vision? Joyful acceptance and loving service, embracing all. Okay, so we'll have that in the bulletin each week. And as we say it, the universe conspires to make it happen. And so I was thinking about all this after we did this, and I thought to myself, you know, Jesus had a mission and vision statement as well, although back then they didn't call it that. Back then they didn't write books about it, did they? But he did have one, and once I saw it, it was so obvious. I thought, how did I not see this before? His mission statement that he must have prayed every day because his Jewish friends and family every morning would say what's called the Shema prayer. And the Shema prayer is very simply, Hear, O Israel, the Lord thy God is one. And in unity, of course, we say it similar. We say there is only one presence, one power. So you could say that was his mission statement, that oneness that he came to tell us about. And then his vision statement to support that, well, how do we make that happen, was the rest of the prayer. And the rest of the prayer, I know you're going to remember when you hear it. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and all your strength. And you shall love your neighbor as yourself. So the two together were his vision and mission. He lived it, he taught it, and he planted the seeds that we are only just now harvesting in an even fuller way. Charles Fillmore, when he began the unity movement, said, all the powers that are attributed to God may become operative in man. In other words, all of God is in us. We're divine by nature. So whatever quality is needed, it's there for us. So what did Jesus urge us to do and to become? To be the love that we are, to express the love that we are, and to extend the love that we are through each of us, through different talents and abilities, in loving service. Now, the Last Supper, he had the apostles wash each other's feet. And he said, do this. But instead, the tradition went on, well, let's serve bread and wine instead. That's a lot easier than washing each other's feet. But his whole point was loving service to each other. That's what he really meant, to emphasize, be that to each other. Each one of us is born for a purpose, to express the love that we are, and each of us does it in a different way. And it's like an inner urge, a seed that is growing within us, and we can't not do it, we can't not be it, but we can choose to be it in loving service to each other. If we're not afraid to be who we are, if we're not afraid to engage. I love it when Captain Picard would always say, engage, that's such a great word. Not just sit around waiting for that default life, but to fully engage in being the love that you are. Glenda Green, who wrote The Keys of Joshua, said, stimulated by some form of involvement with life, it's much better to plunge into life, knowing that your true purpose of being love will carry you into a worthwhile experience and eventually to a safe harbor. In other words, when we are really, truly living and honestly as we can, as fully as we can, who we are, the universe supports that. And our life flows toward our good. Now, I encourage each of you to make and create your own vision statement. Did you know that you can do that? You can create your own mission statement of who you want want to be. I created mine, and I'd like to share it with you today, but it feels vulnerable sharing a vision statement because it's what I'd like to be, obviously. I'm waiting for the snickering when I say it because obviously I'm not able to live it fully, but it gives me a target to reach. As I said earlier, if you don't know where you're going, you end up somewhere else. So I did the same thing. I took some Post-its and wrote down, what are my favorite words? What are the words that mean the most to me? I did this some time back. And the word free or freedom is very important to me. The word flow, in the flow, not our flow, but in the flow, is very important to me. Where's flow? Love you, flow. The word grace is very important to me. I have to free myself before I can be any use to others. So I came up with my mission, and again, please don't sticker, I know I haven't arrived totally. I am dancing in the flow and the freedom of God's grace, and I inspire others to dance freely.
Yes, you already have.
Oh, all right, I like that. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I like that. Okay, again, I'm a work in progress. So it's similar to vision boards or treasure maps. Once you put it out there, you don't even have to emphasize it a lot. I have it on my note page, my to-do list. Every day I have a to-do list. And it's right up there on the top of my to-do list. And I don't even really read it all the time. It's just sort of always there as the universe conspires to support me in that. I know I shared this story with you before about treasure maps and how one time Michael and I got a postcard in the mail of Mount Shasta. And we've always wanted to go to Mount Shasta, but it's really hard to get to because you can't get there from there. There's no airports nearby, and you have to fly in somewhere and then travel a long way to get there. It takes money, it takes time, and we were living far across the country when we decided we wanted to go there. But all of a sudden, I don't know if it was a year or so later, we found ourselves in Mount Shasta. We made it there. Now see, it doesn't matter how. You don't have to know how is that going to happen. You just have to know the universe is going to conspire to get you to that mission statement that you have created. The synchronicity of the universe, the synergy of the universe. I love those two words. Synchronicity, synergy will bring it to you. If your intention is in harmony with your life purpose, with your talents, your abilities, and who you are. We have the vision, and then we give love to the vision, and then we act on the inner promptings that Spirit brings to us, and the synchronicity of the universe supports it. It's as simple as that, and as challenging as that. And then every few years, like we did here, you have to re-examine it. Is this still my mission? Is this still my vision? Do I need to tweak it a little? And Jesus consistently and constantly went off by himself to pray, went on a boat, went up to a mountain to get away from the crowds where he could come back to his center. Who am I? What am I to express? And how can I nurture that inner being, that divine nature that I am a part of? And the universe supports. I think one of my favorite quotes, and I heard it so many years ago, was from Thoreau, who said, I have learned that if one advances confidently in the direction of your dreams and endeavors to live the life you have imagined, you will meet with success unexpected in common hours. So if you break that down, advances confidently, have faith in it, trust, focus and intention on that purpose, that mission, that vision, in the direction of your dreams, which you imagine, what you desire, to live the life you've imagined through your vision and your intention. Now, during the time of COVID, we've disengaged from our vision. We've all been separate, and now we're back, and we're renewing it and engaging in it once more. So one more time, if you'd repeat with me, I'll say it first, or if we can put it on the screen, otherwise, there we go. Mission statement together, celebrating our oneness, And vision statement.
Joyful acceptance and loving service, embracing all.
And let's take that into prayer then. We've put it out there. We've spoken the word. And now we allow the universe to draw to us all that would support that. The energy, the people, the abundance, the guidance, the wisdom, the strength, the love, the joy, the music, whatever it is that supports that. We open to receive it, and we release and let go of any blocks to love's presence. And we live in that joy and gratitude as we do pray this in the nature of the Christ. And so it is, so it truly is. Amen.